Okay, so next step on the case swap Micra, we need to be able to change gears. So we've got this generic cheap eBay one, I believe it's like a Skunk 2 knockoff, for about 200 quid with the cables, and this is what we're going to use to start with on the Micra. Now, having got this far in the build, I'm not sure I would have used this. What I think I would have used is a nice neat solution, which is on the screen now. Now this is I think a no-cut install shifter, and this bolts to the underneath in the tunnel, and then it runs the cables through the exhaust tunnel, which I think would have been a much more neat and practical solution for this build. But again, sometimes people just want shiny stuff, so we're going for shiny stuff. But I do think this underfloor thing would be a more practical install without having to cut the firewall. So first job is we're going to mount this on the exhaust tunnel. Now unfortunately Dave has bought this second hand for the car, and we are missing all of the mounting hardware. There are some collars which sit in these holes here, which reduce it down to, I believe, an M10 or an M8 thread. We're missing all that, so we're going to have to get creative when it comes to getting around this, but I've already got an idea in mind. But anyway, well, let's see how this sits inside the car. Okay, so we are in the Micra. The lighting's a bit poor in here, so I apologise about that. The factory linkage has been removed, so obviously we're left with this hole in the floor, and we need the shifter to occupy a pretty similar spot in the car. So my thought process is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a plate to cover up this hole in the floor, and then I'm going to hopefully have some standoffs using some M8 threaded connectors, and then on these standoffs will be another plate which this will sit and bolt on. So rather than try and explain it to you, let's just make it. Okay, so there we go. That is the shifter all mounted using a lovely designed adapter plate by yours truly to utilise the factory K11 mounting holes for the factory K11 shifter weather boot, and then a nice little plate on top. So now we have got the shifter solidly mounted, we now need to turn our attentions to the cables. I apologise about the wind noise if you can hear the fan, it is hot in here today. So these are the gear cables that we need to utilise. Now they did come with this universal firewall boot, but I don't think we're going to use that. I think we're going to reutilise this hole in the firewall just here. Obviously it's missing the boot, but we can soon source one and fit one there to make it weather tight. But I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'm just going to get the gear cables in and make sure everything works as it should. Okay, so that's the shifter and the cables all installed. Now, one thing I didn't realise and I struggled with is that I tried to retain the nice zinc plated bracket, not realising that the supplied aluminium bracket actually moves these two mounting posts about an inch back, because I installed the cables and I could only get, well, I couldn't get first or second gear because this cable here was bottoming out. Obviously, as you see now, we've got a full range of movement there. So just need to sort a grommet out for the firewall and put some R-clips on these. And then inside the car, we've got the shifter tower all in. And obviously we've got first, second, third fourth, fifth, and sixth, and then yeah, there's reverse. So we've got full range of movement. The only thing I'm not happy about is the cables. It does feel quite gammy. Now that might be down to the cheap Chinese nature of these parts that we've installed, but there is plenty of time to upgrade those parts in the future if Dave wishes to do so. I mean, obviously we need to make sure that Dave's happy with this position of the shifter, so we probably need to get him down here at some point, sat in the car, and make sure that's where it needs to be, because all we've got to do really is make a new top plate for that, the fancy plate that we've made. Fancy plate, you know what I mean, the adapter plate. If you're wondering, yes, the adapter plates will be available as part of the kit on the website. I'll update that as soon as I physically can. It'll be cheap because it's just some 3mm plate and a couple of M8 nuts, bolts and connecting nuts. So yeah, that's it. Short, sweet video on the shifter install for your K-swapped K11 Micra. Again, I think I would have preferred to use that underfloor thing. I think it would have been a nice install, but obviously you can do whatever you want to do when it comes to doing your K-swap in your Micra. That's it for this episode. Short and sweet. See you in the next one, which will hopefully involve some shiny parts in this area.